Good morning, friends. My name is Rayoman, and basically I'm a fitness consultant who's going to be talking about the subject of yoga. Yoga as a subject is extremely vast, but I'll try and cover up the basics, the basic concepts, and how can you use yoga in your day-to-day living. Now, what is yoga? First, to understand what is yoga, basically it is, in other words, in the Sanskrit word for yoga, basically the Sanskrit word is yoga and the English word for it is union of the mind, body and the soul. It's a coordination of all three. People normally believe only in the physical aspect of yoga, leaving out the emotional content and the spiritual side to it. So it is basically a coordination of mind, body and soul. Now yoga has got the physical aspect, and when you say the physical aspect, it represents postures. Postures, the Sanskrit word again means asana. Branches of yoga, or the 8 limbs of yoga. The first one, yama. This would mean the ethical restraints that are necessary for achieving harmony with others. Niyamas, actions necessary for achieving balance with oneself, or principles laid down. Asanas, like I said, it means postures, the physical side of yoga. Pranayam. Pranayam would mean rhythmic control of breath. You cleanse your chakras through breathing. Pratyahara. This is internalized yoga. We go inwards. Controlled withdrawal of senses. Basically, you restrain your senses. Senses are like a mirror. Turned outward, they would reflect the outside world. But if you turn inward, they reflect the purity and peace of the higher mind. Senses are basically the vehicles of mental distractions. Until we control these, we are unable to concentrate. So you got to go inward and try and control your senses as far as possible in order to be more balanced and achieve the focus that you require. Dharana. The other word, the English word would be concentration. Mind basically cannot be fixed on one particular subject or solitary object for any considerable period. It must in the same way remain moving, although the boundaries of the movement can be constrained. So you need to concentrate and keep your focus on how to achieve that concentration. Dhyana, which means meditation. This would mean an unbroken stream of consciousness whereby very little sense of the self remains. You forget yourself completely, absolutely, and basically you're trying to achieve a state of mind where you don't focus on anything except emptiness and a blank state of mind. Samadhi is the last stage, which is a total state of bliss. This transcendence of the self through meditation, merging with the self or with the universe. Benefits of yoga. There are various types of benefits. The physical benefits, the mental benefits. We first cover up the physical benefits. The first one being flexibility. Yoga, when you think of the subject, people would start thinking of the physical postures and what it could do, basically to lose weight or to achieve total health and fitness in terms of flexibility. Now when you talk about flexibility, you achieve greater range of motion to muscles and joints, and you can also do wonders with the postures as far as your hamstrings are concerned, your back is concerned, your shoulders are concerned, your hips are concerned. But it has to be done under supervision and at a very gradual pace. For example, different people have got different levels of flexibility. So you cannot take on a posture which is extremely difficult and start working on it. It has to be done right from the basics. Strength. It's a myth that yoga is meant for old people, or it is not meant to increase strength. Many postures would require you to support your own body weight in different ways. Some exercises would require you to move in and out of postures extremely slowly, which will enhance your strength. That needs a lot of strength. For example, the handstand or the Shirsasana builds up your shoulder and your arm strength. Muscle tone. This is actually a byproduct of getting stronger, and you can expect to see increased muscle tone with a variety of postures. It not only shapes up long and lean muscles, but also helps you increase your strength, pain prevention. Again, we always hear of patients coming to us with various types of pain. For example, back related pain, neck related pain, joint related pain, or even specific purposes like breathing problems. Now we are talking about the physical side, so we'll talk about the physical benefits. Now, back pain is the most common. Let us take back pain. Back pain happens due to a number of reasons. Basically, your spine, your posture would be one of the reasons why you would be having a back pain. Excessive loading on your back. For example, if you're carrying a heavy bag all throughout, or you continuously walk in a different or a wrong posture, that would throw back pain. So in order to align your spine again back with proper postures, you can get back that flexibility, the strength, as well as the alignment. The alignment is the most important. Now yoga works on your core. Breathing. Breathing basically would relate to pranayam. Pranayam would be rhythmic control of breathing. There are various chakras that exist within the body, or energy points. What breathing would do is to cleanse your chakras. Either breathing through both the nostrils, taking in breath through one nostril and removing the breath through the other one. There are various techniques that the yogis have performed through various generations and passed on. Breathing should be done only under supervised expertise, because normally we see a lot of people going on television and seeing a couple of programs and catching on the breathing exercises, which would be incorrect because they leave out the nitty-gritties of the breathing exercise. Certain types of breathing exercise will help clear nasal passages, even calm the central nervous system, and certain type of breathing exercises will also help you basically tackle specific issues like your stress, your emotional balance, everything related to the brain. Mental aspects of yoga would mean mental calmness. The first thing. Again, postures is on the physical side, whereas pranayam would be on the breathing. Both when merged together will give you that absolute calmness and emotional content to it. Stress reduction. Physical activity is good for relieving stress, and this is particularly true of yoga, because you need your concentration. Your daily troubles, both large and small, will tend to melt away from time to time if you're doing yoga. Becoming aware of your body, body awareness. You become more and more aware of your body. For example, if you were to hold a posture for approximately 10 seconds, your level of focus will be minimal. But as you stay longer and longer in the posture, you tend to become more and more aware of your body. For example, initially you will feel that blood trickle down through the body. Your head become heavy if it is an inverted posture and you are doing inversions. Slowly you will focus on the balance. You will feel the stretch. You will feel the breathing pattern change. So all this is related to body awareness. It becomes more and more easy with your practice and helps you improve your alignment as you practice more and more. Now we have a lot of myths about yoga, but the most common myths of yoga, we try and cover that. Yoga is a sport. Not true. Most people like to think yoga is a sport due to its physical nature. It is by no means an athletic sport. Basically, it is an art and science of physical, mental and spiritual development. Like I said, it's a coordination of all three, your mind, body and spirit. the physical side of yoga is the most important. Now, we as human beings would always look at what yoga would deliver in terms of weight loss or in terms of improving your health, and we are always related to the physical side of yoga, which is important, but that is not the only element. Yoga is also about feeling at peace with the world and relaxing your mind, body and soul. So breathing is also included, and also your pranayam, your meditation, that also is included. Yoga is only for women. Again, not true. Women are cover majority of the yoga participants around the world. But that would not mean that men can't find their inner peace via yoga as well. Basically, men think that, oh, yoga is something meant for old people, or yoga is only meant for women because it's really slow and they want their inner peace and it's not physical. In fact, if you were to do certain specific postures and hold it for a longer duration, it would cover balance, it would cover flexibility, and it would cover strength. All your inversions would cover postures, for example, like your handstand, your Adho Mukha Svanasana, which we will come back on later. All these are extremely strength-based postures. As you maintain your posture, you increase your strength. The strength in the joints, the strength in the back, the strength in the hamstrings, your glutes, everything. So it is not true when we say that yoga is only meant for women. Everybody has to practice the same postures. Not correct, because every person, every individual capacity is different. Physical capabilities are different. Strength is different. Flexibility is different. How can you say that you are going to practice the same posture? For example, somebody who has a back problem may not be able to do inversions, may not be able to stand on his hand or her hand. They might be able to do simple postures. For example, if you come across an athlete, I don't think one would be giving basic postures to an athlete. He's already achieved that level of fitness, so you can proceed to give him specific postures which will help him enhance his endurance and his strength. Flexibility also included, but more focusing on endurance and strength. You have to be extremely agile. Not true. Yoga has to be done at one consistent pace. Most people, for example, there are various types of yoga that have come out, basically branches, different types of yoga, or you would say branches of yoga that have come out covering different elements of yoga. Some go at a really fast pace, some would go at a really slow pace, somebody would be doing yoga in a restricted area at a specific temperature. Different types of yoga, but the basics are the same. And when you talk about agility, when you're saying, is not just based on how fast you can do how fast you can get into a posture and come out of the posture. It has to be done correctly with the right alignment and proper breathing. You cannot leave out breathing. Most people will think that yoga has to be done on a physical level. So you would get into a posture without taking into consideration your breathing. If you are not going to breathe correctly, the entire essence of doing that posture is lost. You will not get the desired results. One needs to go at a very slow pace. For example, if you are picking up a particular posture and there are 4 steps to get into the posture, there are exactly the same number of steps to come out of the posture. One would see in a class, people get into a posture. For example, there are 5 steps. But when I say relax, people would just leave the posture. That is incorrect. You come out step by step. So it is not true when you say you have to be extremely agile. You go at a slow pace and build up on your pace. And pace again would differ from person to person. You can't say that within 3 months' time I need to achieve this. Yes, you set your goals, but it also depends upon your physical and mental condition. It is good to practice outdoors. Well, it would look all fun and fancy in the movies. Practicing yoga outside can actually do more harm than good. If you decide to do yoga outside and if it's raining or if it's extremely hot, not advisable. So it is not a good idea to say that yoga is only good to practice outdoors. Incense should be burning. This again seems like a good idea, burning incense while practicing yoga. Doing so would interfere or hinder the relaxing process, because when you actually are focusing on your breathing, you actually are disturbing free flow of breath in and out when the incense is actually burning. So you need to see to it that the environment that you're doing yoga in is absolutely free from any kind of smell or incense or whatever you call it. Twisting and turning in yoga is bad for arthritis. There are different styles of yoga which include gentle and flowing movements and also allows you to use a chair to balance. Basically, chair is used as a prop. These forms of yoga are perfect for someone with arthritis. And there are certain twisting postures, certain bending postures which are extremely good for arthritic people, because that tends to release the paraspinal muscles, release the spine, release the hamstrings. It depends on what condition a person is suffering from. You cannot generalize stating that twisting and turning is bad for arthritis. Yoga is gentle to have any physical benefits. Like we spoke earlier, we tend to see the physical aspects of yoga, and when we say physical aspects, most people relate it to strength, how fast paced it is, or how fast you can get your results. Practicing yoga on a regular basis will help you increase your muscle strength. Again, muscle strength is extremely important for most individuals, but at the same time your joint flexibility is equally important. Both are achieved through yoga, and yoga will also help help boost your mood, spirits, and help in controlling stress, helps in increasing your endurance. When you hold on to a particular posture, you're actually enduring yourself. When you're doing certain specific stretching exercises, it increases the flexibility, and when you're maintaining the postures, that will help in building up your strength. Now this is a very funny point. Yoga will help you build up better orgasms. Now this is a real myth. However, practicing yoga, I must say, will increase your flexibility, and basically increasing your flexibility and your endurance will enhance your performance. So it's not direct when you say that yoga will help you deliver better orgasms, but because of improving your final health, like your strength, flexibility, and your endurance, more so your flexibility and your endurance, you achieve that. So it would be incorrect to say that yoga helps you achieve better orgasms. It's the process of exercising and how you exercise that will help you achieve that. Sorry. Yoga and corporate wellness. Now, these days, why do we need to have yoga at corporate offices? Integrating yoga into an organization's wellness program is absolutely low cost, preventive, and an effective healthcare measure which is extremely easy to implement. You don't need any specific props, you just need a yoga mat and you can start off. It is an extremely low impact workout which is accessible to all regardless of the physical ability. It's the holistic approach, basically a coordination of mind, body and soul that promotes the overall well-being and the personal growth of a person. Through the physical movement, breath, work, meditation and relaxation, yoga offers us tools and various techniques to approach your day-to-day challenging situations with absolute focus, calmness and clarity. Keeping this in mind, one is empowered to assess better and to manage stressful situations as opposed to reacting to them. So basically here you're talking about responding to them, not reacting. When you apply your mind to it, it is always a response. When you are reacting, it is without any kind of thought. The result is actually a trickle-down effect that can change the entire workplace dynamics. It is safe to say that yoga increases one's flexibility, balance, stamina, physical and mental both. Exactly what is required to meet the demands of not only the workplace but life in general. Most people get stressed up at work. When you go on to the physical side of yoga, when you finish your breathing exercises, at the end of that 1 hour session or 45-minute session, or even if it is a 15 to 20-minute session, you tend to achieve that balance. For example, if I ask you to sit in one place and close your eyes, what exactly are you doing is basically shutting off one sense. Of course, your mind is definitely going to run with a multiple number of thoughts. So the best meditative technique here, just to give you a short and a brief example, would be shut your eyes and focus on every single sound that you hear. The moment you start focusing deeper and deeper on everything that you hear, for the next 4 to 5 minutes, stick on to that thought. Keep your focus on everything that you hear. Gradually, after the end of 4 to 5 minutes, your mind is calm. Just give yourself a command that you now need to focus on a state where you're absolutely blank, have no thoughts. And then immediately, without any effort, you are able to do that. So you can say that your breathing is definitely going to help you, not just at your workplace, in your day-to-day life, but otherwise also. If you are planning to shut off your mind, that is what you need to achieve. You are able to shut off, start on whenever you require. Get your focus on and keep your mind blank at any given point of time. Benefits of corporate yoga: increases energy, vitality and focus, boosts the morale and the interpersonal communications, it builds up your confidence, it helps you combat and mitigate work-related disorders such as the lower back pain, carpal tunnel syndrome, poor blood circulation, high blood pressure, depression, acidity, a lot of other things. Helps you improve your attitude towards others, towards yourself, most importantly, your disposition, and ultimately productivity and effectiveness. Improving concentration, decision making and multitasking abilities. Posture, body image and confidence is boosted up. Promotes a very healthy lifestyle and builds up camaraderie. Basically, the bottom line of doing corporate yoga is that it is absolutely low cost, no kind of props required. You can just have a yoga mat, probably a rope, if not, if you don't have space where you can have a yoga class in the organization itself, you can still use your office chair and do a lot of exercises. Basically, we call it ergonomics, how to use effectively your office chair and stretch. It's absolutely reduces your boosts up your self-confidence and reduces your level of stress. When you talk about stress, again, physical and the mental side of it, a lot of people are actually suffering from the mental stress, and physical stress is as a result of the mental stress. So breathing is what you need to start off with in the initial stages, and then work towards the physical postures even if you don't have time. So I would suggest every organization should have at least a 15 to 20 minute break where they would have specific workshops on yoga. Now the most important part, covering specific postures. The first one being Tadasana or Samasthiti. Listed down is the technique. You can read through it or you can listen to it. The first step would be to stand together with your feet, heels and the toe bone touching one another. Feet firmly placed on the ground. Arms have to be stretched right above your head. The paraspinal muscles will be stretched as you stretch your shoulders and your arms vertically upward, relaxing the spine. slowly become aware of the rib cage. The diaphragm is free from any kind of strain. Now remember one thing, in any yoga posture, never hold your breath unless specifically stated. You have to have a continuous flow of breath in and out. Inhalation and exhalation has to be continuously going on. And when we say inhale, that is for you to understand that while getting into a posture you inhale, and while coming out of the posture you will exhale. Maintaining the posture, I again repeat, maintaining the posture, you continuously keep breathing. So coming back onto the posture, your feet together, you stand straight, lift your arms up, stretch it upwards vertically, stretch the spine, become active. Take a deep breath in, pull the stomach inwards and hold your breath for a few seconds. Squeeze the hips and thighs, shoulder blades slightly coming close to one another by pushing the shoulders back. Chest moves forward. Keep breathing. After a period of approximately 30 seconds to 45 seconds, exhale and lower your arms. Now what exactly happens is, when you keep your feet together, the toe bone touching one another, the heels together, squeezing the hips and butt, stomach pulled in, arms stretched above, you're actually keeping your spine absolutely straight, which you wouldn't be able to do in a normal posture or when you're walking around. So in order to de-stress the spine, you stretch your arms and your spine vertically upward, keeping the paraspinal muscles absolutely relaxed. And if you talk about the meditative side, when you breathe and the spine is absolutely stretched, you're also cleansing the chakras. There are different types of chakras. We won't cover that right now, but free flow of breath in and out while doing this posture continuously for a period of approximately 30 to 45 seconds. You can gradually improvise on it and hold the posture as long as 2 minutes. You will see the difference when you lower your arms, that your spine is absolutely free from any kind of strain, especially the lower back and the upper back. Most people have a problem with their spine. Either it's the shoulder blades, the upper back or the lower back, because back is a major muscle group. So work towards it gradually. Uttita Trikonasana. Now, technique would be, spread your legs approximately 3 to 3.5 feet wide, one foot facing the front, the other foot opens up sideways. Now moment you open up one foot sideways, you also tend to move your pelvis or the hip moves. So you are slightly diagonal. Bring it back where your pelvis is facing the front. Hips are in one line. Stretch your arms sideways. The palms have to be absolutely firm, because that is supposed to be the brain of the posture. If your palms are loose, there will not be any kind of stretch on the shoulder blades or the trapezoid or the arms, and you will weaken the posture. So keep your palms absolutely firm, and then slowly in the direction of the foot which has opened up sideways, you will start lowering your body. As you lower the body, remember your spine moves forward. If you don't apply your mind to it, your spine would move forward. So what you got to do is, as you lower your body, start pushing the tailbone in and move the spine backwards, so that the spine and the tailbone are in one line, as you can see in the picture. And you can go as low as possible. If you have that kind of flexibility, you can touch the floor. One arm stretched absolutely upward and in line with the other arm. So the back of the legs, back of the chest and the back of the hips all have to be in one line. What are the effects of doing this particular posture? This posture will help you tone up your leg muscles, remove the stiffness in the legs, basically your hamstrings, and hips in particular. It also helps you relieve your backaches and neck sprains, strengthens the ankles and develops the chest. Again, the effects would vary from person to person. For example, if a person has a weak back, that person would feel more, this posture would be more intense, and he would feel it more on his back as compared to his hamstrings. For someone who has an injured hamstring, he would feel it more on his hamstring. So you have to read your body. As you get into the posture and maintain and hold that posture, meditate in that posture, you focus on what are the muscle groups that are being targeted. And stay in that posture, think only about that posture as long as you are holding it. That is going to deliver you the best results. Parivritta Trikonasana. Technique. Again, feet wide, distance of approximately 3 to 3.5 feet. Once your arms are stretched sideways, you take a deep breath in, and on exhalation, you bring your right arm towards your left leg, or vice versa. So you move around with your waist, using your waist muscles, and stretch the other arm upward so that both arms are in one line. Now, while doing this posture, remember one thing: you need to read your flexibility. When you turn and you take your arms as low as possible, but if you do so by keeping your legs bent, there is no effect in the lower body. You're only covering up the upper body. So if you have to get the full benefits, keep the arms absolutely straight and in one line. So basically you're moving with your waist, and the legs also have to be absolutely straight so that you feel the pull right from the calves, back of the knee, the hamstrings and the glutes. It's an intense posture, so you read your flexibility, and you may not be able to touch the floor. You can go as low as your knee, that's fine, but you need to see to it that your arms are in one line, you're moving with your waist, and your legs are absolutely straight, thighs tight, knees rolled up. While coming back from this particular posture, you always inhale. Lift the hand from the floor, rotate the trunk back to its original position, and come back to position 1, which is your arm stretched sideways. Now inhalation and exhalation has to be continuous, like I said. While coming back of any inverted posture like the Trikonasana or the Uttita Trikonasana or the Parivritta Trikonasana, you are doing an inverted posture. Both are inverted postures. So while coming back, there is a lot of blood rush in the head. If you exhale while coming back, it would be extremely dangerous because you tend to get a blackout. So you have to inhale so that the oxygen supply reaches the brain and the blood settles down. Effects of this posture. Somewhat similar to Uttita Trikonasana, will help you tone up your thighs, covers up the calves also, and hamstring muscles. The spine and the muscles of the back are also made to function properly, as this posture will help increase blood supply around the lower part of the spinal region, basically your lower back, the lumbar region. That's what we are talking about. This posture will also relieve the pain in the back, invigorates the abdominal organs. Because of the twist, we are using the waist, so it covers the abdominal organs and also strengthens the hip muscles, more so because your legs are stretched and you're bending sideways. Bhujangasana, most important posture for a lot of back patients. This posture is also given by physiotherapists and a lot of doctors when people have a displaced disc, you would say slip disc or weak back muscles. One needs to do this posture as much as possible, but it has to be done correctly again, keeping the body properly aligned. Alignment is very important. Breathing is very important in every posture that we are talking about. First thing, lie down on your stomach, head facing down, your forehead is rested on the floor, arms next besides your chest, palm and elbow in one line, feet together, feet pointed, not on your toes. You can also try and touch your knees together. Breathing in, you will slowly lift your shoulders and your chest off the floor as high as possible. Read to what extent you want to take your chest and your shoulders off the floor, because if you go higher, you tend to get a slight pain and you will be in discomfort as far as the lumbar region is concerned. Continuously keep breathing, but as you push your shoulders and chest off the floor, you will breathe in. You will go in with an inhalation. Maintain the posture. Squeeze the hip when your chest and your shoulders are off the floor. And slowly applying all the pressure, you will push your body up with your palms and push the tailbone in. Now, most common mistake, this posture can be extremely dangerous if done incorrectly, and if you were to just push your body off the floor. Now when I say push the tailbone in, you're actually pushing the tailbone in and trying to get the back as straight as possible, as you would see in the picture, and shoulders back, chest out. Get the complete stretch on the back. Squeeze the hips so that your lower back is supported. If you keep the hips absolutely relaxed, again there's some kind of discomfort in the lower back. So the most important thing over here is to push your tailbone in line with your spine, just like the way we did it in Uttita Trikonasana and Parivritta Trikonasana. Maintain this posture for approximately 10 to 15 seconds, or even for 5 to 6 seconds to start off with. Keep breathing while you hold this posture. On exhalation, come back, release, lie down again on your stomach, chest on the floor, shoulders absolutely relaxed. Exhaling. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Technique. You lie down, arms stretched above your head. Then you get into the posture, your knees off the floor, palm absolutely straight. Distance between the palms as well as the distance between the legs have to be exactly the same. Your feet can be slightly wider than your shoulders, that's fine. Stretch your lower body by going on your toes, keeping the legs absolutely straight, thighs tight, knees rolled up. Always remember, thighs have to be absolutely firm, tight, and knees rolled up. Move the shoulders close to the ears so that you're stretching the upper body also. Your palms have to be absolutely firm so that you don't tend to slip. Slowly release your lower body and bring the heels down, keeping the legs firm, and feel the stretch starting right from the heels, the calves, the back of the knees, the hamstrings and the glutes. Now coming back onto the upper body, you've already moved your shoulders close to the ears, keeping the neck neutral. Remember this, neck has to be neutral. You're not going to go close to the floor using your neck. So you are not having any head movements. But with your shoulders, you will push the body in. Alright? Without using the neck. Your chest should not be hanging downwards or make your back extremely sunken. There will be a lot of pressure on the shoulder blades. Hold this posture as long as you can. Preferably in the initial stages, you can hold it for approximately 20 to 30 seconds, not more, because there is a lot of blood rush and a lot of people are not comfortable with inversions. Now, when we were talking about strength previously, this is one posture which will really build up the strength in your shoulders, your arms, your entire upper body as well as the lower body. and also helps you achieve that kind of flexibility in the lower body, especially your hamstrings and your glutes. Glutes are also very neglected, so in terms of stretching your glutes, this is very good. Salabhasan. Again, extremely beneficial for people who have a lower back problem. First, lie down on your stomach with your arms alongside your body, palms facing up. Your forehead will rest on the floor. Gently lift your head up. Chest can still be on the floor. If you have that flexibility, you can also lift the chest a little more. Lift your head, upper torso to an extent that you're comfortable, and your arms. Lift your legs up. Keep your arms parallel to the floor. You will be resting on your abdomen and your lower ribs, keeping them firm. Stay in this position for approximately a minute, squeezing the hips at all times. Hip has to be squeezed. Effects of this posture. This is also known as the locust pose, which will strengthen the abdominal muscles, the legs, the arms, helps you relieve the stress and improves your body alignment, basically your posture. Take one note, avoid doing this posture if you have a chronic back injury, because it becomes a little intense when you're lifting your lower body as well as your upper body. Pavan Muktasana. Technique would be, first lie down on the back, one leg absolutely straight, pull one leg close to your chest, interlock your arms and bring your thigh as close as possible to the chest. Your thigh has to be pressed against the back and the chest. A lot of people, while doing this posture, because of the discomfort with the stomach and the chest, what they would tend to do is pull the leg outward. Alright? So by the side of your waist. Don't do that. Press it against the back, press it against the chest. Point your feet. The leg which is stretched has to be absolutely straight. When I say straight, try to push the base of the back of the knee towards the floor, keeping the other leg absolutely bent. Keep breathing. You should feel the stretch along the length of your body from your legs to your back. Extremely good for people who have a lower back problem. It will relieve the pain in the lumbar region. We will take a deep breath. Hold this position for approximately 4 to 8 breaths. Relaxed breathing. Breathing should be deep from the belly. So it has to be a conscious effort to breathe through the stomach. And the belly is to be pressed against the thighs when you inhale. So like I said, don't let your thighs go outward. On exhalation, slowly return your head back onto the floor and straighten your legs. One word of caution, try not to move the head forward. Keep the neck neutral again. So you tend to lift your back, your shoulders, but don't use your neck and push the head forward. Otherwise you are straining the neck. Effects of this posture. Basically this is a wind removing posture. Provides a gentle massage to your abdominal organs, your digestive system. Helps you improve with the efficiency of the internal organs, stimulates the nerves and increases the blood circulation to the internal organs of the body. Your liver, your pancreas. Practicing this posture will help you remove any kind of gas, acidity that you go through on a day-to-day basis. Performing this posture would also help improve the efficiency of the digestive system. People who have a weak digestive system have to practice this posture on a regular basis. This posture will also loosen up the spinal vertebrae and strengthen the muscles of the lower back. When I say lower back, yes, more so the lower back, but also covers up the upper back and the mid back. You can go on www.talwalkars.net to check out for any further details, as well as www.facebook.com/talwalkarsindia, as well as www.twitter.com/mytalwalkars. Any kind of questions are welcome. You can start asking your questions. Now I'll cover up certain specific questions as long as you come up with your questions. Does yoga help deal with anxiety? What type of yoga or posture should I follow? Like I said, yoga definitely helps you with the physical side, but the mental and emotional content also are covered. So if you are a person who doesn't have much time and you want to finish off your course and your exercise within 15 to 20 minutes, you can follow the breathing pattern. Don't go into postures currently. Start off with the most basic breathing exercises, like for example your deep breathing. Now in a very brief, I'll mention to you how it is to be done in a very short way. You take a deep breath in, hold your breath for approximately 3 to 4 seconds and exhale. But when you pull in your breath, that is during inhalation, you will slowly inhale, giving a count of 4 seconds, whereas your exhalation will be for a longer duration, so it has to be much slower as compared to your inhalation. For example, 8 seconds. So you breathe in for approximately 4 seconds and exhale for 8 seconds. So breathe in with slight force, exhale very slowly. That's your deep breathing. There is something called as Anulom Vilom, which most people might have heard of. Again, cleansing of the chakras, cleansing of the nasal passage, de-stressing your chakras that are present within the head. People who've got excessive headache or anxiety, palpitation, a nervous breakdown, you can shut one nostril, inhale through one, shut the other nostril, exhale through the opposite nostril. So the process will be the same. You breathe in with slight force, exhalation has to be absolutely slow, but through the opposite nostril. Here you are using both the nostrils. In deep breathing you would use both the nostrils. In Anulom Vilom, you shut one nostril, breathe in, pull in through one, exhale through the other. Start off with these two and then increase the number of rounds that you would do. For example, if you start off with approximately 5 to 10 minutes, you can sit for as long as 15 to 20 minutes gradually on an empty stomach. Any breathing exercise or any posture, asanas, have to be done on an empty stomach. Now, strictly going by the rules of yoga, you need to have at least 2.5 hours gap, and only then will you start any kind of exercise, physical or breathing. Second question, in which yoga posture should I sit for meditation? Deep breathing is the best. Shut your eyes, Sukhasana, basically cross-legged on the floor. Place your right hand right about in front of your pelvis. Your left hand and your right hand on top. Cup it slightly and focus on the third eye. If you cannot focus on the third eye, just try to follow your breathing, normal breathing, and sit in this posture as long as you can. Try to focus on the sounds that you hear, so that all the mental disturbance that is occurring in the initial stages would go, and slowly after the end of 4 to 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever time you take, give yourself a command that you need to now slowly and steadily stabilize your breath, bringing all your focus onto your breath. Follow your breath, listen to the sound, keep thinking everything that is related to the breath. Just bring all your focus onto your breath. For example, bring these thoughts: what is the length of your inhalation and exhalation? How smooth it is? If it is not smooth, try to smoothen it, stabilize it. How slow or fast are you breathing? Are you able to take the breath only up to your throat, or you are able to reach it up to your chest, your abdominal region, the Kundalini chakra, which is right at the seat of the tailbone? So all your thoughts have to be revolving around your breath. That itself is meditation. In the initial stages you will find it difficult, but you need to work on it. Not necessary that you have to do it lying down. You can be seated. If you are tired of sitting in one posture, halfway through your meditation you can also lie down. If you want to take back support, you can take back support also. The focus is on your breath. That's about it, not on the posture. How to improve your yoga practice for weight gain yoga or gym? Like, there are a number of postures. I can't pinpoint on any one specific postures, but you start off with simple stretches. First, see, understand one thing: in total health and fitness there are three factors: strength, endurance and flexibility. Now for men, most guys will focus on strength, endurance second, last flexibility. Most women, I'm talking about most women, not all, but most women will try and focus on endurance, then on strength and flexibility. However, most neglected one is flexibility, but the most important one is flexibility. We lose out our focus on flexibility. Tell me how many people go to a gym, they don't do their warm-ups, so they do their warm-ups just for a period of 2 to 3 minutes, that's about it, and go on for high intensity exercises like your treadmill, like your jogging or weightlifting. Absolutely wrong. You will end up with injuries. So you have to see to it that you thoroughly stretch yourself before your workout. Stretch yourself even between your sets if required. If you feel that your muscle is tense, you can stretch as well as after your workout. It's a very strong myth that one has to stretch only post your workout, or one has to start warming up only before your workout. You cannot stretch in the middle because you're wasting a lot of time between the sets. Incorrect. And there are plenty of postures. For example, if you're basing on strength, your inversions would be excellent. If you base on like in the previous question, somebody asked me how to deal with anxiety. So if it is related to mental calmness, coolness, stability and focus on your sitting postures and stay in that posture as long as you can. For example, Pavan Muktasana is a very easy posture. You can maintain that. The Bhujangasana, but do not push the entire body up. Only the chest and the shoulders go off the floor. So only partial Bhujangasana, that is the first stage. That you can do. So that will also strengthen simultaneously your back. Your back needs to be targeted every single time, because most people have a weak back because of their posture or because of the way they sleep, a lot of reasons. So start off with certain very basic postures, stretch well enough and then proceed towards. So first target your flexibility. So first cover up postures that would help you loosen up. Then go on endurance based postures. Like your Surya Namaskar would be extremely good to improve your endurance. Various types of Surya Namaskars, various steps that could be included or cut short. If a person has got some kind of a disability, you may not skip the Surya Namaskar in totality, but you can skip certain steps that would throw pressure on the lower back or the hamstrings or the knees. Next question would be, what's the correct way of breathing? Now, most people make a mistake here. In very simple terms, first of all, to have the right way of breathing, you have to have the right posture. Extremely important. So you learn to keep your spine straight. Shoulders have to be relaxed. Pull in your stomach, chest out. When you pull in your stomach and you're breathing through the stomach, you are supporting the back. When you pull the stomach in, you're actually supporting the lumbar region. Chest out, stomach in, shoulders absolutely relaxed, and then you continuously breathe. That is always going to ensure free flow of inhalation and exhalation. Next question, can yoga transform negative emotions? Of course. Of course. Building up confidence through your postures, your breathing techniques. As you get deeper and deeper in your practice, your meditation, basically various types of meditative techniques are listed. We can come back in it later. You can try and ask this question later on in the website and we can cover that topic up, or in a separate session. But yes, yoga would transform negative emotions also. It helps you build up your confidence. Next question, I want to lose weight but I don't like gymming. I've heard that yoga can help you lose weight. What other techniques are there to losing weight without going to the gym? This is the most common question, and my answer would be, you do exercise. There are various types of exercises, but the other factor that you're leaving out in this question is your diet. You need to have the right diet. If you say that I'm going to eat any junk, but I will still go to the gym and work out, or I'll do my exercises, but I'm still not losing weight, then you know where you're going wrong. You need to follow a proper diet, and yoga works best when you have the right kind of diet. Now, just to elaborate a little more on the diet part, because we haven't covered that either, I'll tell you there are various types of food that one should have if you are a yoga practitioner. 3 types: Rajasic, Tamasic and Sattvic. Now, as a yoga practitioner, you have to follow the Sattvic type of diet. Forget the Rajasic and the Tamasic. We'll cover that later. Sattvic. What is Sattvic food? Cooked with least amount of spices and less seasoning. Fresh food. Don't buy fruits, vegetables and store them in the refrigerator, refrigerate them. Don't do that and then have it after 3-4 days. Foods that have nutritive value, pulses, cereals, vegetables, green vegetables, and cooked in a very simple way. Less of salt, less of spices, less of sugar. That is your Sattvic food. Any kind of additives, artificial colors, chilies, pepper, salt, too much of spice, this would explain your Tamasic food. And Rajasic, this is what excites passion, making the mind restless and uncontrollable. This will lead to obesity, heaviness after eating your meals. Fried food, roasted food, curries, highly seasoned, all this would be absolutely wrong. If you were to be a yoga practitioner, it doesn't go well. So it has to go hand in hand. Your diet is equally important. Now, losing weight, again coming back onto your question, yes, you can lose weight. You have to be first be focusing on your diet. Once you cover that aspect, be regular with the type of exercises. Discipline has to be there, so regularity. And lastly, you need to do it under supervision. If you are a person who is looking to lose weight, there are instructors who will help you achieve that, because there are specific postures. Now, I can't list down the postures over here, but yes, there are breathing exercises also and postures also. Both will help you achieve lose weight. But breathing is extremely important but extremely dangerous if done incorrectly. So breathing, I would advise not to start off with in the initial stages. Just go on to the physical side. So you can start off with Surya Namaskars, which will help you build up endurance and help you lose weight. If you do it at a very slow pace, you will achieve your flexibility and endurance. If you go extremely fast, endurance and strength, because you have a full set of basically you have got 3 to 4 steps in Surya Namaskar, where you take your entire body weight on your arms, keeping your entire knees, your lower body off the floor. It's like a dand. So yes, you will tend to lose weight. Next question: I am overweight and not flexible enough. Can I still do yoga? Of course. Yoga can be done by, like I said, a man as well as a woman, and a person from the age of, say, as young as 4 years old, as long as 80 to 85. And if you have the flexibility, great, you can continue even post that. But if you're not that flexible, you start off with certain specific stretching exercises sorry, Work on your flexibility first. Don't go on tackling the weight issue. Be flexible. Work on your flexibility and then go on to your postures. If you don't focus on flexibility and directly go on the type of postures that would help you lose weight, you may land up with some kind of injury. Injuries to your back, injuries to your hamstrings or your knees. So first, try to strengthen and stretch the muscle as far as possible. Be a little supple, manage your own body weight and then go on strength. Next question, what is the simplest technique to get calmness, mental calmness back? Again, we've covered this in the initial stages where I said any breathing exercise is always going to bring your calmness back, your focus back. Simply by shutting your eyes off and focusing on how you breathe is the most effective breathing technique. That itself is meditation. Meditation per se means bringing your focus onto any one object. For example, if you were to read a book, focus only on what you are reading. That itself is meditation. If you are sitting next to your window and you see the rain and you keep focusing on the raindrops falling and you focus only on that, shutting your mind to all other topics, that is meditation. So what I would say is shut your eyes, relax, get your entire body loose, smooth inhalations, exhalations, and focus on your breath. That is the best technique to get your mental calmness back. Sit for approximately 5 minutes. You may not be able to do beyond 5 minutes in the initial stages, but proceed, and you can sit as long as you want. You can go up to meditation sessions can last up to an hour and you will not even know about it. Once you learn the technique of focusing on your breath, it becomes very simple and you can shut off immediately when you want to. Next question, I'm a chronic asthma patient. What kind of yoga should I do? Great. Firstly, diet. Focus on your diet. There are specific things that you need to eat. Certain things that you would eat might aggravate your condition. Like you have to stay away from foods that have additives or color in it. Something that is really cold, that you need to avoid. That only a dietitian can guide you. I'm not the right person. Also, breathing techniques. Now in your case, because you're an asthma patient, only focus on deep breathing and breathe through the stomach. Try to keep your inhalations as long as possible. Focus on the diaphragm expand. Focus on the expansion in the chest, both front and back as well as sideways. And try to stabilize your breath as far as possible. Just do this exercise for the first 3 months and you will definitely see some kind of improvement in your asthma. Of course, deterioration can again take place because of the dust that you go through while traveling. So you need to cover yourself well. That is also extremely important, because considering that we are staying in this city and it's so polluted, you need to cover yourself well. Next question, do I need to warm up before yoga? Of course. Yoga will include your physical postures. Yoga also tends to achieve the flexibility part, but yes, you need to warm up. So your basic exercises, warm-up exercises would be your arm rotations, front and back, 10 times. Then you will extend your arms sideways and rotate with your waist from left to right, achieving a semicircle. Don't force your movements, and then do circular movements with your arms. Slowly you will bend your knees and then touch your toes. That's the last one. And then probably you could do a set of squats. Then you will start off with your normal exercises. This is your warm-up, but warm-up is extremely necessary even if you are doing something like yoga. Or like the best and the simplest one to do is your Tadasana that I've covered in the initial slide. The first one, I guess. Yes, you can do your Tadasana. That's the best one to stretch your paraspinal muscles, and to release the hamstrings you can touch your toes. Next question. I do not want to enroll myself for yoga class. Is it okay to read books and practice yoga? Absolutely fine, but you won't get to know the details. How exactly it is to be done, you will never know. However detailed a book may be, you will not be told about your breathing process. When an instructor is sitting in front of you, he is there to observe your form, your body alignment, which is extremely important. When I'm talking about body alignment, it is important to see to it that you sit correctly or your posture is done in the proper alignment. If done incorrectly, then it is dangerous. In the sense, you would land up with injury, or your spine, if twisted incorrectly, might throw some kind of a pain in the lumbar region, or depends on what posture you're doing. So you might tend to get aches and pains, which you will not realize. As you get deeper in your practice, you will start feeling the pain even more. So I would suggest you stick to an instructor or go to a class, so that that instructor is able to guide you and correct you when required. Next question. I recently had an appendicitis operation. Can I start practicing yoga? First thing, ask your doctor, are you ready for it? Even if the instructor says yes, you can, doctor is the best person here, because he has the medical knowledge. As a yoga practitioner, yes, we do help patients, but your doctor has to give you the green signal. Once you do that, and you are comfortable doing the postures, you read your body. Moment you start doing exercises, not just yoga, any kind of exercise, and you feel no, there is some kind of discomfort, that means your body is throwing signs at you that you need to go slow. So go slow. Take your time. It's not doing any harm. In fact, if you start practicing and you land up with some kind of injury, it's going to create further problems. So take your time. Next question. I'm 3 months pregnant. Is it safe to practice power yoga? I'm not much of a believer of power yoga. Basically, power yoga is done at a very fast pace. Are you at that level of fitness that you are able to do that kind of postures at that kind of pace and be able to handle the breath? If so, continue. My advice would be to practice yoga at a very slow and consistent pace. That itself will give you all the results. Even if you hold the posture for approximately 3 to 5 minutes, you'll get your results. Why do you have to make it into an exercise and go at an extremely fast pace where you're sacrificing on the form? It tends to happen. Even in most aerobics classes, you go at an extremely fast pace. But then what happens? If you don't do it correctly and your pace goes up and down, you're actually damaging your knees. So my advice would be to stick to normal basics, do the simple yoga, go on your flexibility, strengthen your back. That is what you require, so that you don't have to go in for an epidural and other shots in the back that will weaken your back. And work on your flexibility and breathe as much as you can. It's also good for the baby. Next question. Is it true that yoga can improve my sex life? We've covered this before. It can help boost your immune system. It can help build up your endurance and your flexibility, thereby improving your sex life. But yoga will not improve your sex life per se. Alright? Next question. What are the simple asanas which could be done in a busy schedule of our daily lives? Breathing. Simple deep breathing. If you don't have enough time, breathe. Become aware of yourself. See, when I say deep breathing, most people are running around. They don't know what they are running around for. So, you need to focus on yourself. You need to shut your eyes, get yourself inward, cut down everything that is going externally. So, the moment you shut your eyes, your external world is off. Now, your other sense, your hearing sense is always active, yes. So, you focus on everything that you hear and then slowly shut off. So, do deep breathing and then work towards it. Stretching is again extremely good, because that will help you stretch the muscle, oxygenate that particular area with extra blood supply, and you will feel good. So yes, simple asanas can be done in order to achieve what you're looking for. Thanks a lot. If there is any other query, you can go on the various websites that I have already mentioned. I'll repeat it again: www.talwalkars.net, www.twitter.com/mytalwalkars, and www.facebook.com/talwalkarsindia. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.